Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ljs Garage. I am sitting in a 2021 Hyundai Veloster N. I'm really excited about this one because I've been meaning to get my hands on a Veloster N for so long. Unfortunately, beggars can't be choosers, and this is the Veloster N with the dual clutch transmission. Some will just call it an automatic, but I like the dual clutch transmission because that's exactly what this is. Hyundai says the Veloster puts the capital N in fun, and it just sounds kind of weird, but I like what they're going for, you know, 275 horsepower, 260 foot-pounds of torque, and this thing is a cool, hot little hatch. So I am gonna enjoy this, and, you know, honestly, I would actually buy one of these. So far, I'm impressed. There's a couple things that I'd love to talk about, which, if you guys stay tuned, I'll cover all that. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna, you know, enjoy that this thing puts a little bit of a smile on my face. So like I said, for specs, 275 horsepower, 260 foot-pounds of torque, which are very respectable numbers. On top of that, you've got two transmission options. You've got the 6-speed manual, or you have the 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. And this, again, is the dual clutch automatic transmission. So far, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'll say that it does exactly what it needs to do, and it shifts really, really well. The crazy thing is 0 to 60 time with the dual clutch is 4.8 seconds. Whereas on the manual, you're looking at about 5.2 seconds. So that's actually a really big difference. And it honestly makes this manual transmission thing really just for the purists. Otherwise, if you're going for performance, track, all that stuff, this dual clutch is just the way to go. A lot of people are even ditching dual clutches and going straight to just like traditional 8-speed automatics, 10-speed automatics even, and it makes a lot of sense why they would do so. So let's start with the looks of this thing. I think Hyundai nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. There's a lot of good things about this car. There's nothing I hate about the exterior. Even the little small wing on the back looks great. The taillights, the headlights, the grille all look nice. Hyundai's really kind of figured out exactly what audience they're targeting with this. And I mean, honestly, they've nailed it. So starting at about $33,000, this is actually a pretty complete package. As you guys already know, Hyundai and Kia and all of that, they tend to offer bang for your buck value. And that's really no different with this thing. So you've got your forward collision avoidance, you've got your lane keep assist, you've got your blind spot monitoring, high beam assist, you've got your driver attention warning notification systems. So it has all the modern safety features that you would find on all cars in 2021. And it's basically standard to me, but you guys don't, you know, care about the Veloster N for that. I don't even care about the Veloster N for that. I'm just saying that it's got that, you know, extra bang for your buck. So if you're like me and you're a bargain shopper and you kind of want to buy something that's still like got that traditional car feel where you feel connected, this has got that. Electronically controlled limited slip differential, so it moves, it handles well. I mean, it's just single zone climate control. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wheels 18s or 19s. It's on Pirellis. Man, it's got plenty of grip. And this little pocket rocket, that's not what that means at all. I'm gonna just go back to calling it a hot hatch. But this little hot hatch, true definition of hot hatch, if you get the 6-speed. But I'll say, you know, the dual clutch, I'm done beating that, you know, dead horse, because everyone knows the difference between a manual and a dual clutch. Yeah, so I'm getting ready to take this on some winds, and then I'll really see what this can do. If you're curious, gas mileage, 22 city, 28 highway, so pretty solid overall. Yeah, and I'll show you guys a couple more features later on after I kind of, you know, get the driving experience of this thing, because that's what we're all here for, right? You got a couple options. You got the paddle shifters here you can use. You also do have the regular shifter, and you can just kind of shift manually that way. Or you could just leave it in drive if you so choose. There's always that option as well. These seats are just right. Comfort, fun, sportiness, plenty of bolstering, but not over the top. If you guys are curious, I'm 5'9", and I'm about 180, 185, somewhere in that ballpark, depending on the day. And I'm fairly comfortable in these. If you were any taller, I'd say probably like once you get to about 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", you know, then maybe this little car is not for you. I've got plenty of headroom, but again, I'm only 5'9". As far as bolstering goes, I'm not the widest person, and I think this is just right for me. Like, I am plenty comfortable with the amount of bolstering that this thing has to offer. So let me get some open road here, and I'll, you know, be able to open this up and actually see what this thing can actually do. I'm very excited to see how this thing actually performs. And before I get to performance, it's got a couple different drive modes. You've got normal, sport, and eco. Sport does add extra damping, so you can actually get in those corners and use the grip that this thing has to offer. So it is one of the fastest front-wheel drive and best performing front-wheel drive cars on the market. And the only other competition that this thing really seriously has, I feel like, is the Honda Civic Type R. And if you've seen my videos on the Type R, you know that I love, love, love the Honda Civic Type R. And I would say that this feels super similar. The seats are very similar too, actually. There's so much that this thing has to offer, but really what's crazy is underneath this car, even though it has all these fancy nice things, is it's just a Veloster. I hate to say that, but you just got to get used to that. You know, you've got 3 doors instead of like 4 or 2, so this is very unique. If you don't know that about the Veloster now, well, now you know. I'll show you guys all that stuff. Just enough room, so I kind of like this setup. Nothing too fancy. Other than that, I mean, that's really it. This is a very simple package. It's a very simple car to order. There aren't a lot of options. You got cargo nets, you got wheel sizes. I mean, that's really it. There's not much else that you're trying to get out of this. So Hyundai took one of their solid platforms. I'd say the Veloster is a pretty solid platform, and they just added a little extra power, tweaked some suspension options on there, and then next thing you know, you've got this thing that actually has a G-force gauge, because this thing actually does pull some G-force. They also have in sport mode, I call it the snap, crackle, pop mode, or pops and bangs as some people call. This actually has plenty of that. So you'll hear it when you're in sport mode, and I'll let you guys get a peek of that. I'll move the camera so you guys can actually hear what this thing sounds like from the outside. It sounds really good. Pretty much that same tuner feel. Manual. Ooh, and you do have shift lights. Oh my God. I'm hoping that this picks up the turbo noise. Alright. So this thing is all sorts of fun. God. I'm impressed. Like I said, I knew that this thing was going to make me smile the minute that I saw it. The looks might not be for everyone, so if the looks just aren't your thing, well, I mean, that kind of answers the question for you there. But I love that this thing, you know, looks the way that it does. First gear. Shift. Oh my God. Alright. And I will say that it doesn't torque steer quite as much as I thought it would. Those shifts, quick, smooth as butter, as I would say, but it's like butter with like a hot knife. That's smooth. Second gear, in. Oh man, this thing is fun. All right, I'm gonna do that again. Let's do it from first gear to second gear. God. I won't lie to you that I'm actually really surprised how well this thing like handles, and it does downshift, it does have rev matching in the manual, all of those cool things. But man, oh man, oh man. This thing is fun. Braking is actually really not bad. I'm about to take it on some winds here. See what this thing can do. Oh, it's so nimble. Everyone's probably looking at me like, bro, are you crazy right now? Are you drunk? Well, I'm not. I'm having fun. The sound system in here is not bad. It gets the job done, which honestly, the way that this thing sounds, if you like that tuner sound, you'll probably just keep the audio off anyways. And like I said, now I'm in manual mode, whipping it around these corners. And this thing just pulls really well. very linear and everything. I will say it's definitely hard to go back from a manual to, or excuse me, it's very difficult, I would say, to go from a manual to a dual clutch and then back to a manual. And I love the connected feel of a manual, but once you get used to paddle shifters in life, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I would love to take this thing on a track and actually see what it really can do, because most of us that do, you know, find some open back roads, who are we kidding? We take the girls out here, we impress the ladies, make it look like we can really handle this car, but until you take it on a track and really push it, you don't really get a chance to experience everything that this has to offer. But I do love that the horsepower isn't crazy high, so you can actually like get this around some turns and handle it. And I'm not saying that I'm a champ at driving, but I'm freaking damn good if you ask me. Yeah. But when you have this thing in N mode, oh, that's when the fun begins. That's when the fun begins. Steering, tightest. Suspension, stiffest. Shifting, shifty. Shifts. Oh man. I wish I had an extra $30,000 just to, you know, throw at this thing, because this is so much fun. Honestly, after driving this though, I would say this has more personality than the Civic Type R. And I know people are like, no, the Civic Type R is so much more fun, so much more Honda stuff. But this is not like a lot of other hot hatches. There's just something that Hyundai is doing that's just right. Everything is just right with this. And I know that sometimes people say in here feels cheap. I don't care. For $30,000, you got all the safety features. You've got Bluetooth, you know, stuff. I listen to music, whatever, cool. Like, this isn't the car for all the fancy stuff. Civic Type R barely has anything. And the markups on those are ridiculous. Yes, the Civic has 300 plus horsepower. That's cool and all. But this thing... This thing is where the magic's happening. Oh my lord. This is such usable, fun power. Like, I just, yeah, no, this is it. But this is what the view looks like from the driver's standpoint. On the left side, you've got your controls for your cabin lights, your blind spot monitoring, your lane departure, all that good stuff. On the left-hand side, you've got your normal controls for window locks, all that good stuff, your third window, or whatever that thing is called, your third door. On the steering wheel itself, you've got your volume controls, your audio controls, all of it's pretty straightforward. This button here is going to be for your menu, so you can see that you've got your fuel economy, compass, driver attention, G-force, nothing crazy. Drive modes are selected with this. Normal, sport, eco. On this right-hand side, you've got your N mode, and your N mode is where all the fun can happen. Paddle shifters, automatic headlights, wiper blades. On this side here, you've got your media controls. You've got your navigation. You can go ahead and you can hit your media, and if you hit media, it'll be your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, USB, Bluetooth, all that stuff. Nothing crazy. And then your traditional climate control settings there, traction control off, shifter. You got two cup holders there, cup holder there, cup holder there. That's good. And then you'll see around the car, there's a couple spots that, you know, you do kind of get a little bit of a blind spot, so the blind spot monitoring is nice. And this is what your interior setup looks like. So the blue seats, with the stitching, or black seats with the blue stitching, seat belts, all that good stuff. It looks really nice. The seats are manual, weight savings. You do have lumbar support though, so these are nice, and the N is illuminated. Seats do fold back there, so it's all really nice. This is your cargo area, nice and deep, looks good. And then you do get this little cargo cover, but yeah, nothing too crazy there, but it's a very good looking car back here. So I'm done. I'm gonna go enjoy this thing, but stay tuned, subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Finally a car that I have wanted to do, which I really like driving any car, but yeah, see you guys next time.